Hey guys, how are you? This is AG sir, lecturer, Department of Biology, St. Gregory's High School and College. I hope you all guys are fine, staying at home and doing your studies regularly. Today, in this video, I am going to have a discussion on chapter 5 and the topic is digestion. I recommend you guys to watch the whole video to get the clear concept about digestion. And if any topic seems obscure to you, please let me know by doing comment in the comment box. So let's see. The topics we are going to discuss today: digestion, digestive system, alimentary canal, and structure of tooth. So now let's jump to our class. So first topic is digestion. So digestion is a process where large or complex components like carbohydrates, protein, lipid or fat that converted into small or simple components like glucose, amino acid, fatty acid and glycerol with the help of different enzymes and can be absorbed in the bloodstream. That is what digestion. If I go to an explanation, digestion means we actually eat different kinds of food, breads, fish, mutton, oil, butter, cheese, milk, different kinds of food we usually eat in our everyday life. And when we usually eat this food can't digest in these forms. They should be broken down into simple forms. We usually eat the foods in complex forms, and these complex components should be broken down into simple components, otherwise they can't be absorbed in our bloodstream. As a result, our digestive system or different glands helped us to digest these complex components into simple form or converted them into simple form. As you can see here, carbohydrates converted into glucose, protein can be converted into amino acids, and lipid can be converted into fatty acids and glycerol. And when they converted into simple forms or simple components, these components will be absorbed by our bloodstream, and from our bloodstream it goes to the different parts of our body, to the different various cells, and these cells takes those glucose, amino acid and fatty acid and broken down them and get energy. That is called respiration. That is totally different topic from it, so we'll discuss it later. Okay, actually there are two kinds of digestion process. One is mechanical process, another one is chemical process. What do we mean by mechanical process? Mechanical digestion involves the physical breakdown of food. Physical breakdown of food means by using the different parts of our digestive system, we can break down the foods inside of our body, and we can make them use to be broken down into simple forms. Okay, such as you can see here, mouth. You can see here mouth. In mouth, teeth, tongue and palates, these are the helpful part in our mouth, can broken down the food. As you know, when we eat something, firstly we chew it, we mix it very well in our mouth with our saliva inside of mouth, and tongue helps in that, and then palates and teeth both helps us to break down the food very easily. After that, the food goes through the alimentary canal to esophagus. Then it faces peristalsis process. What is peristalsis process? We'll learn it here. Actually, peristalsis is a progressive wave of contraction and relaxation of an involuntary muscular system, especially in the alimentary canal, by which the contents are forced through the system. As you know, when food goes down to our alimentary canal, the involuntary muscle in our alimentary canal, they press the food bolus so hard that that food broken down into very small pieces, then it goes to stomach. And the contraction and relaxation when the food passes through the alimentary canal, the contraction and relaxation of that alimentary canal, that is called actually peristalsis. Okay, so let's jump back to our previous slide. So esophagus doing peristalsis, they break down the foods into more smaller pieces. Then stomach, by muscular carrying action of stomach, they also break down the foods into more smaller pieces. It's called actually chyme. And then at last, small intestine, they also break down the food by doing peristalsis by the help of bile. Bile is a juice, you may call it's a juice that secretes from the gallbladder connected with our liver. Okay, then our next digestion process is chemical process. You can see the name is chemical process, as differently some chemical reactions is involved with this. Many organs of the digestive system secrete different substances such as various enzymes and juices. I will give the examples of it later, to break down the complex foods into simple form. These enzymes and juice secrete from different glands, and all of them have a vital role to play in order to digest foods. As you know, if we jump to the previous slide once again, here carbohydrates are converting into glucose. Carbohydrates are converting into glucose. So in this case, some enzymes called amylolytic enzyme. Amylolytic enzyme is converting these carbohydrate foods into glucose. And when proteins are converting into amino acids, some proteolytic enzymes is helping here to convert the proteins into amino acids. And when in the last thing, when the lipids or fats converting into fatty acid and glycerol, here some lipolytic enzymes are helping in this reaction. As you can see, there is always some enzymes or juices like bile, juices like pancreatic juice that secretes from pancreas. These are always around there in digestive system to help to digest our food properly. Okay, and the reactions occurring in our digestive system to digest our foods properly by enzymes and juices, that is called chemical process. I hope you guys already understood what is peristalsis, but again I think I should revise it again. Peristalsis, I said, it's a continuous contraction and relaxation of involuntary muscle of our alimentary canal. As you see, when the food bolus is going down through the alimentary canal, this area is creating a contraction, huge amount of pressure it is creating on this food bolus. And the food bolus where it is now, it's there is no contraction. Actually, it's outside of it, it's almost relaxed. But the other sides of the alimentary canal is creating a huge amount of pressure on this food bolus. That's why the food bolus breaks down into some other simple forms, and this helps us to digest properly. Okay, let's jump to our next slide. Now we will discuss about our digestive system. We'll discuss about our digestive system here. Uh, Digestive system is consist of two parts, that is alimentary canal and digestive gland. There are some parts are here described here. Alimentary that includes in alimentary canal, mouth, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, rectum, and anus. Actually, alimentary canal is a tube, or it's a canal that starts from mouth and ends in anus. Okay, and definitely there is another part, that is digestive gland. There are several digestive glands in our body. Salivary glands, that is in our mouth, pancreas, liver, gastric glands, that is in our stomach, intestinal glands, that is in our intestines, large intestine, small intestine. Okay, now we will discuss about it briefly. In alimentary canal, it starts from mouth. When we have some food in our mouth actually chews it with the help of teeth, tongue, and our palates. Teeth cut down the foods into small pieces. Tongue helps it out to mix the food with saliva, and palates as well. After that, our mouth, inside of our mouth, there are some salivary glands, three pairs of salivary glands in our mouth, and it secretes different kinds of salivary saliva that mixes with food to break it down properly. And in it there is mucin that makes our food slippery and helps us to swallow it properly. After that, that saliva also contains taurine and maltase. There's two different kinds of enzyme. There's taurine and maltase breaks down the carbohydrate foods in our mouth and convert it into glucose. As long as you contain or keep your carbohydrate foods in your mouth, this taurine or maltase converts this carbohydrate foods into glucose. After that, the food goes to pharynx. Actually, after that it goes to buccal cavity, and after buccal cavity it goes to pharynx, and from there it goes to esophagus. We already read esophagus did some systems, that is peristalsis. Esophagus did some peristalsis process, and by this peristalsis process, esophagus breaks down the food and some other small parts, and from esophagus the food goes to stomach. Stomach is a bag-like shape that makes by involuntary muscle. It is made by involuntary muscle, and inside of it there are different kinds of glands, gastric glands. Actually, this gastric gland secretes different kinds of gastric juices that contains different kinds of enzymes. In stomach, actually food, different kinds of food digests, but no carbohydrate can be digested in our stomach. Only protein or some lipids can be digested in our stomach. Actually, inside of stomach, our stomach stomach muscle also pressurizes the food and also break them into some mixture, and we can call it chyme. After stomach, the food goes to the next part, that is called intestine. There are two kinds of intestine in our body, that is small intestine and large intestine. After stomach, the coil shape or coil shaped duct, that is called small intestine, that remains between stomach and large intestine. This small intestine actually it almost converts all kinds of food elements into small simple forms as carbohydrate, protein, fat. Every kinds of components can be broken down here into simple components as glucose, amino acids, and fatty acid and glycerol. In small intestine, we can see it is also uses some kind of intestinal glands, and it the small intestine divided into three parts: duodenum, jejunum, and ileum, uh, and pancreatic duct and bile duct that just joins before it and enters into duodenum, and bile juice comes from bile and pancreatic juice comes from pancreas, that helps the small intestine to digest all kind of food elements here. And the inside wall of small intestine that contains beer fingers like shape is called villi, and this villi is very useful when the food broken down foods or simple components absorbs in our bloodstream. After that, it comes to large intestine. In large intestine, it is also three parts. There is a color. Hello. There's a three parts here in large intestine: cecum, colon, and rectum. Uh, Here in cecum, a small finger-like shape is connected with cecum is called appendix. You all know about it. Uh, After that, there is colon and rectum. Rectum is a storage where some that food we can't digest remains here. We store here in rectum, and it goes through the anus to outside. That is our alimentary canal. Now comes to the digestive glands. We'll make a different video about digestive glands. What does it do and how does the digestive glands play a vital role in our digestive system. Let's jump to our next slide. And here we are going to discuss about the structure of tooth. Actually, there are tooths in our mouth. There are four kinds of tooth we have actually: incisor, canine, premolar, and molar. Tooth is the hardest part of our body, and we actually have 32 in an adult person, 16 of each in the jaw, each jaw, and the structure of a teeth is almost look like this. It has already three part: crown, neck, and root. The upper part of gum is called crown. The lower part of gum is called root, and the part between crown and root is called neck. It's a very important question for our exam. It usually comes in the exam very often. I hope you will read this question, and you will draw this picture very well. So that's it for today, boys. I hope you enjoyed the video. There is some homework you have. Definitely you have to submit this homework in the comment box. You will draw the picture of digestive system and longitudinal section of tooth, and then you will capture the diagram and just drop it in the comment box in YouTube, or you may send me in my messenger, wherever you like. So that's it in our class today, boys. Stay safe, stay home, And after watching this, still if you have any confusion, you may comment it in the comment box. Thanking you very much. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you enjoyed it, please subscribe the channel to get the further videos. Thanks.